Okay, let's talk about this. What if the secret to feeling more energetic, less achy, wasn't hiding in some expensive supplement or a complicated routine, but was actually waiting for you right inside your own kitchen? We're going to uncover some of your body's hidden firefighters and, more importantly, how you can put them to work. So let me ask you, does this sound familiar at all? You know that feeling, maybe a little achy, a bit stiff when you first wake up, or just feeling kind of run down, and you can't really put your finger on why? It's super common, but what if it's not just random? What if the real cause is something like a hidden fire, just simmering away inside your body? Now, not a literal fire, of course, but think of it like a constant, low-level irritation that's always on, just beneath the surface. This hidden fire actually has a real name. It's called chronic inflammation. The simplest way to think about it is like your body's alarm system getting stuck in the on position. And when that alarm is constantly going off, it can throw your whole body out of balance, leaving you feeling just off. But here's a really important thing to get straight. Not all inflammation is the bad guy. To really get a handle on this, we've got to understand the difference between the good fire our body needs and the bad fire that causes problems. So on one hand, you've got the good fire. That's acute inflammation. Think of it as the healer. It's that essential short-term response when you get a cut or you're fighting off a cold. It's the hero that rushes in, does its job to protect you, and then, and this is the key part, it goes away. But on the other hand, you've got the bad fire. That's chronic inflammation. This is the agitator. It's long-term, it's always on, and it just keeps fanning its own flames, creating a system that is totally out of whack. So, the big question is, how do we fight this bad fire? Well, the solution might be way closer and simpler than you think. It's all about turning the ordinary act of eating into one of the most powerful tools you have for building up your resilience and cooling down those internal flames. Which brings us to the really fun part of all this, your kitchen's very own first responders. We're about to meet the foods that literally act like firefighters, helping to douse the flames of that chronic inflammation. And we're going to zero in on 10 of the most powerful ones. And you know the best part about all of this? We're not talking about weird, expensive, hard-to-find supplements. We are talking about 10 familiar, everyday foods that can act as your body's own fire brigade. And chances are, you've already got some of them in your kitchen right now. First up, let's call in the healthy fats brigade. We're starting with fatty fish like salmon or mackerel. They're loaded with omega-3s, which are amazing because they can actively go in and tell inflammatory signals to just switch off. Then there's good quality olive oil. And what's so cool is that peppery bite you sometimes get, that's actually a signal that it's full of compounds that work a bit like natural pain relievers. And of course, nuts like walnuts and almonds, they're a powerhouse mix of good fats and vitamins that basically act like little shields for yourself. All right, next, let's head over to the spice rack. You've got turmeric with that beautiful golden color. That color comes from curcumin, a compound that acts like a bodyguard for your cells, shielding them from inflammatory triggers. Then there's ginger with its famous fiery kick. That comes from gingerol, which is incredible for easing muscle soreness and just calming your whole digestive system. Now for a super simple rule of thumb, just follow the colors. Seriously, the vibrant colors you see in plants aren't just there to look pretty. They're a huge signal that they are packed with powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. We're talking about those deep-colored berries, bright red tomatoes, and all those rich leafy greens. So let's break that down real quick. The deep blues and purples in berries, they're full of antioxidants that go to battle for you, easing stress on your cells. The bright red in tomatoes comes from lycopene, which helps dial down inflammation. And get this, it gets even more powerful when you cook it. And then all those dark leafy greens like spinach or kale are loaded with vitamins that directly protect your tissues and help prevent flare-ups. Okay, so we've got our healthy fats, our spices, and our colorful plants covered. But what about the stuff we sip on, or the health of our gut? Let's check out our final two firefighting categories. On one side, you have soothing sips. Green tea is just fantastic. It's full of compounds called catechins that help tell an overactive immune system to just calm down a bit. Then on the other side, you've got your gut guardians, like yogurt and kefir. The probiotics in them are all about strengthening your gut lining. Think of it like reinforcing a wall to keep irritants from getting through and causing problems everywhere else. So there you have it. We've officially met our 10 kitchen firefighters. But you know, knowing what they are is only half the battle, right? The real power, the real change,
comes from actually putting this toolkit into action in your everyday life.
And this does not have to be complicated or a huge overhaul. Seriously, look how simple this can be. For breakfast, just add some of those awesome berries to your yogurt. For lunch, how about a big salad with leafy greens, drizzled with olive oil and topped with some nuts? Then for dinner, you can cook with turmeric and ginger in a tomato sauce. And for a snack, a handful of walnuts or a nice cup of green tea. See, it's all about these small, easy wins. And that really brings us to the single most important point of all of this. This is not about some crazy, restrictive diet. It's about the small, consistent choices you make every single day. Every meal is a chance to help cool those flames, and believe me, those small choices add up to really powerful, long-term change. When you get right down to it, the power is literally on your plate. You now have the toolkit. You know the 10 everyday firefighters that are ready and waiting in your kitchen, so the only real question left is, what are you going to do with it?